Fantastic. So get into a comfy place. We're going to have about 45 minutes of sharing, and at the same rate, we're going to be inviting you to interact with us, so please do not be shy. I know you guys all love me, and I smell good, so you can get closer. You guys are welcome to stay sitting in the chairs, but you can also just really lounge out and drop in.
Yeah, I was going to say we need it to be
Miss Jen.
Yeah. Teresa, come on up, honey.
Do you feel not comfortable with me sitting up on the edge of this?
You're perfect. I want you to be like an integral part of the conversation.
Okay.
So however that works for you,
Okay.
join in.
I'm coming.
That's right.
Yes, Mama.
Get your cute buns up here, kids.
Ooh, there's wall space.
Yeah.
All right.
And just note that I'm recording, so you're not going to be like standing up a bunch. Just, you know, wow, I don't know about this whole linear reality thing that's happening with chairs. This is the first time that I've invited the space to be in rows, and it's just so funky. I just think it's really interesting because I'm like one of the least formal people that I know, so I'm really into like spirals and double tetrahedrons and all kinds of things, and I'm all like, it's good. I can still vortex and create 2:4 ratios with you. I think I'm going to shut the front door, even though we're going to invite people in. Thank you, Rose. And I'd like you to come up front rows when you're done as well. And if people come in, we're just going to welcome them and let them fill the space as we go along. Does anybody actually need a packet? Yay.
I do.
Go?
Hello?
Yeah. Packets on chairs. You can sit wherever you like.
Do you know how much you've contributed to tonight?
No.
Those pistachios, I just have to say. And that one's
Yeah. Everybody has to know about David Kaplan too. You're all being nourished by this one.
I pulled into the driveway.
You're good. Yeah. Christopher,
Hello,
have a
hello.
seat. Hi.
Did I miss the party? Is it over?
No, not yet. Would you like a packet? Oh, there's one on the chair. Okay. On the chair. So, I think I know most of you. I'm Jen Healy. Thank you for coming. And it's a pleasure to meet you if you are new to me. And this is David Rose, who might be new to a lot of you. And David Rose and I have decided to partner together in creating a whole new model of integrating wellness and new banking systems, which is really exciting. This is really such a dream come true to share with you guys. It's a coming out of the closet for me and an announcement about creating a healing center that is now an expanded vision, calling it the Healing Rose Center. This is also my fabulous assistant, Rose, coincidentally enough, who has really given her heart and soul to create an amazing day here for all of us. So thank you, Rose. I just want to acknowledge your time and effort, particularly in the kitchen. And we have brilliant elixirs from Brandon, who's amazing. Brilliant elixirs. We also have superfoods that I whipped up. I do a lot of nutritional healing. And David Kaplan, who is my other housemate, who owns Divine Organics and all the yummy superfoods that you're seeing out there. A lot of it was also part of his contribution. So I just wanted to acknowledge all these amazing people that made today possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you're all here. And I trust that you're all here for some sort of reason, for some sort of draw. And we'll happily share and interact with one another to find out what that is. So I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to be here, because it really means a lot to me that you're spending your Saturday hanging out with us. And to be honest with you, a lot of what I'm doing with this whole creation is because of you guys. I'm really excited about this community. I'm really excited about the amount of talent and the amount of creativity that pours into this particular Bay Area, and the amount of creative genius and brilliance that we're constantly surrounded by. So one of the reasons why I've created the Healing Sanctuary is to have a vortex of energy where we can come and share our ideas and our visions and our insights and our dreams. And I've been doing this for about 3 years, a little over 3 years. It's been amazing. an amazing journey. About 10 years ago, I started my first healing center, if you will, which was a home-based model like this, where I invited other practitioners to live with me and to invite other people in to have workshops, mini retreats, classes, meditations, just bringing people together for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of sharing, for our own growth. So that was 2003. It's been 10 years later, and here we are. And this has been a microcosm of a bigger vision to have healing centers around the world. And it's happening. And it's really happening in an amazing, expedited way because of meeting David Rose in the last couple months through my friend Samantha Sweetwater. And him and I have been aligning without even knowing each other for a very long time. I can feel the alignment and the vision. So I'm going to give David Rose a few minutes to just talk about like when we met and how we met and his experience of that, and we'll just kind of go back and forth a little bit if that's okay.
Feels great.
That feels really good to me
Thanks,
too.
Jen. Thanks for having us here and me too, and for creating this space. It's really beautiful. And before I go any further, I want to really embarrass somebody that's sitting in the back over there. My partner Shiloh Boss is part of my company. She's been helping me
Hi, friends.
to create this program that you're going to hear about tonight, along with the Healing Rose Center, which makes it possible for our company, the Unified Field Corporation, to be involved in this project and to bring a lot of resources to bear in creating this template and this example of a wellness center that can be really dynamic, and we'll hear a lot about that. But Shiloh and I have been developing this support program for projects like this very intensely for just almost a year now. This month, I think, last year. So really get to know Shiloh, because I've had this vision I've been doing nothing but this work for 5 years straight, and the vision was for many decades before that. And grounding its first steps in a community is something that we created together, so I'm really grateful to Shiloh for that. Thank you. And I also want you to know my friends in the middle of the room here, Liz and Ron. I've known them almost longer than anybody else I'm still talking to.
Awesome.
And we met when we were 18. I think we're all about the same age up at UC Santa Barbara. And Ron was the first organic farmer I'd ever known. And I didn't know what organic farming was before I met Ron. And I remember one of the corn cobs I pulled out of your garden had a worm in it. And I remember thinking, God, I can't eat organic, it has worms. And then I think I mentioned it to you, and I think one of you said, well, if the worms eat it, at least you know it's not going to kill you. And it must be pretty good. So it really changed my whole thinking about our relationship with the land, the things that we grow, and that's a huge part of what started all of this work. So thanks for being here to share this. Wellness is a big part of my life since I was a little kid. A lot of my family, 2 generations up, has had cancer. And when I became aware of that when I was about 13 years old, I just decided that I was not going to go that way. And so wellness and nutrition and vitality has been a big passion for me for many years. And I've talked to a lot of people about wellness centers. Since 1988 was the first time I was invited to work on one in Kapalua, Maui, by the owner, the patriarch of a family that owns 24,000 acres, most of Maui. He invited me to come over there and build a world meeting center and a world-class healing center there. And that would have happened, except about 3 months later he died. Very inconvenient when the patriarch dies. But it got me there, and it launched me, more importantly, more deeply into the realm of what do we need to do to heal from the inside out. And over the years, working as a business development person, a teacher, and a consultant, and doing some real estate investing, and a lot of things now with this work, the Unified Field Corporation, I just keep meeting people who want to work with wellness, and a lot of them want to create centers. And when I met Jen 2 months ago at my Kamas, we already were told that we needed to meet by somebody we both trust, so we were kind of primed for that. And when we met and we started talking, I just kept getting this feeling like maybe you can actually do something with her about wellness. This might be the person. And so far, I'm just keep being overwhelmingly surprised and delighted that that first intuition is correct, and you have tremendous strength and commitment and dedication to what I think are really important and powerful values that can bring wellness to a community. So I'm really honored to work with you on this project. And from my standpoint as the founder of Unified Field Corporation, and you'll hear more about this later, we are doing this project under the auspices of a program that is being built to support projects like this around the country with whatever they need to succeed, and a full spectrum of that process. So you'll hear a little bit about that too, only to show how this project's being supported. I think that's the appropriate lens for that explanation tonight. Okay, is that a good start?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the thing that attracted me to working with David Brose is that he was telling me that he wants to create a new form of sustainable community partnerships and banking systems that empower people to be successful. And he never met me before. And I said, oh, that's interesting because I'm teaching empowerment courses and success principles. And it's really important for me to give people the skills and the tools to really thrive. And there's one thing to help somebody heal, and it's another thing to give them the opportunities to really feel fully in their power. And that's kind of my passion right now. And with that comes radiant health. And radiant health does not come without that power. And so I really want to give people opportunities. So we can remove all of the limitations and excuses that we've had, that we've built up over time, time being one of them. So the fact that he has a model that he's created that, and I may not get all the facts straight, so that's why he's here, and he's so awesome to give me the little fine tuning, because this is kind of new to me, is that 25% of the profits go back into educating, right? 25% of the profits of the bank go back into educating people. So it's not just giving them money, but it's really giving them the skills and the tools that they need to really flourish. And to me, that's exciting, because I was like, oh, well, I didn't even think of opening up a wellness center with him. I'm like, I would love to be giving people the empowerment tools to really have their projects take off, whatever they're passionate about, whatever they're interested in, to really give them an opportunity to grow. So that's where I thought we were going to connect, because I was like, great, I love these teachings, and basically I'm a student of the teachings as much as anybody else, you know. So instead of claiming some expertise, I'm willing to share the teachings, and I'm willing to do the work together. And so creating these conscious community gatherings and creating these different events here and bringing people together is an opportunity to share at a deeper level. Because I feel like I'm kind of a closet spiritualist. A lot of people know me for different components, but I don't think a lot of people really know me and know what I'm doing. And now I'm like, this is it. This is who I am, and this is what I'm doing. So it's kind of like unnerving for me. I'm a little nervous and excited nervous, because it's like, all right, I've made this commitment to the universe. I'm fully dedicated to the spiritual path. I'm fully dedicated to awakening this whole new level of evolutionary practices in our consciousness, and what is that going to look like? And for the last 10 years, it's looked like opening up healing centers around the world. And it's like, well, the question next is, how's that going to happen? You know, and most people are like, so where are you going to get the funding for that? And then I see a lot of wellness models that are really ambitious and passionate about what they're doing, which I am too, and yet where's the footing and where's the foundation for them to thrive? And here comes somebody who's very passionate about giving people those opportunities, those skills, the tools, and the resources in order for them to feel sustained. So I'm really excited about his model and the way, well, I really think we need a whole lot of new systems within our communities, but within our whole society. And what would it be like to be in a place, like the first thing that I want us to do is really imagine what it would be like to be fully supported in our projects. Like, I know every single person in this room is brilliant in so many ways. And what would it be like to be in a community that is just like fully cheering you on? And what would it be like to have the resources to back that up so we can remove that excuse? And what would it be like to have all the energy and all the vitality and all of the emotional fulfillment and all of the results ready for you to step into? So removing all of those obstacles, knowing that the goals are possible, and that we're all basically, I see everything as sacred geometry. It's my little play structure outside. I love building quantum playgrounds. And people are always wondering, oh, this is fine, you're just hanging people upside down. There's a whole lot more going on. I believe this whole new wave of consciousness is coming through body wisdom, empowered play, energy management, This is part of what is in the packet. But I really believe that this new wave of consciousness is coming through embodied play, body wisdom, empowerment, and these energy management systems. And there are many ways that we can play ourselves into power and success. And that's really what I see these Healing Rose Centers being a template for. So everybody has these ideas about wellness centers and what distinguishes this vision from someone else's. So the idea that my main reason for creating a wellness center, beyond just offering people amazing services, great classes and workshops and things like that, is we have these incredible people in Marin, particularly Marin and the whole SF Bay area. And there's no real gathering place. You know, Martin, coming from LA, is telling me a little bit about his communities down. Martin's my other housemate. He's amazing. Makes awesome movies. So he came up from LA and he's like, so where do people hang out? Where's the place to go? And I'm like, you know, I'm really wanting to create that place. We had Cafe Gratitude, super cool. I want to do something besides eat at a place. You know, I love food, don't get me wrong, but like I'm a pretty active creature. Like I need movement, I need stimulation, like I need like inspiration. So where can we go where we can get all these places in one? So this is what I've been seeing as these hubs. And this aligns with the consciousness grid that's on the planet that is basically vortexing energy to these sacred sites. And Marin and the Bay Area is one of those places. And I can see them expanding all over the world with sustainable models that are expandable and repeatable and reliable so that we all can stay connected with them and move within them. And this is the sacred geometry. I get like full body thrill bumps every time I talk about it. It's like, for real, this is happening. And we get to create it. This is not just David Rose and I. We get to create that because there is no conscious community hub without conscious community. And this is something that I have been thriving and striving and praying and desiring for 15 years in the Bay Area. Where is that place that you just go, where you just hang out? So the wellness centers will be a cafe with like awesome superfoods, live foods, all kinds of opportunities to lounge, a multimedia library, so you can go there and do research, you can go there and read. We'll have accessibility to information, lots of information. There's no lack of information. And then this idea that we can come into body wisdom practices and education. You know, so we're really being informed and then turning that into projects and dreams and different wishes and desires like that, so we really feel fulfilled in meeting our goals and our projects being supported. So we have lots of different visions, and it's all in there of what this would look like. And we're interested in hearing from you guys. What excites you? What would you like to see in a conscious community center? And we'll give everybody a chance to really share what that means to them. If they had a place where they just go, where you're going to have those brilliant meetings, where you're just going to run into the perfect person at the perfect time to get the perfect information that's going to help you totally take off in the project. Every time I have people over, just AJ's like, hey, just let me know if you need some filming or some media, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I need filming media, blah, blah, blah. And then this other guy, Benjamin, earlier, is like, hey, how about some marketing? Thank you for just coming to my house and supplying me with these opportunities. But I want that opportunity for everyone on so many levels. Rose just kind of like appeared in my life with a background in physics. I don't even know if you guys really know that my whole gig is research and development of quantum healing technologies. That like I was working in nanotechnology and microfabrication and semiconductor physics, and now I'm teaching at UC Berkeley, my empowerment teachings. But like really what distinguishes this center and the difference is that we are going to spend a ginormous amount of our time and energy creating optimal health models and educational models for people to really find the validity and the effectiveness of these alternative therapies. So we give them a real opportunity to put them into practice with an integrative database system and a way to share information amongst all the modalities. So all of the different practitioners working together and interacting, so everybody is in communication and also coming to one place for your acupuncture, for your massage, for your nutrition, for whatever it is that you need. We'll just have a whole array of healing modalities all interacting. So you don't just go and see one practitioner or one therapist. You go and you see a whole collection, a whole team of people that know you and know everything about what's going on for you to create the best comprehensive healing program. So to me, this is super exciting because I don't see that anywhere, and that's what I want. And I've worked with doctors, and I've worked with acupuncturists, and I've worked with chiropractors, and I've worked with physical therapists, all wanting to be like, hey, why don't we actually work together? And still people are doing their individual sessions. And then, you know, I'll see a client and then send them to an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or whatever, but we're not working in the same building. We're not working in the same place. We're not entering all of this information and this data into an integrative template and model so it can be expanded and repeated. And then the next person who comes to see us with the same set of circumstances, both symptomatic but environmental and all the other influences on their health, we can say, oh yeah, we've worked with 10 people, these are the best systems that we've come up with, and these models are the most effective. That's exciting to me. So there's a lot of different ways that we're wanting this to be completely leading edge. And the main point and purpose of having David on board is to really emphasize the educational piece, that for people to really thrive and be successful, that they're given the tools that they need, that we're constantly improving and expanding upon the way that we're using information, so that does become body wisdom, that does become a higher level of intelligence that we're operating within our community. So research and development, integrating a whole new way of looking at community, sustainable, partnered banking systems, and the collective, collaborative, connective piece. So you can just come there and share and hang out. So it's all in there, the vision of it. It's just started, like literally, we made a goal of June 1st being the day that we announced this, and it's June 1st and we're announcing it, so I'm so proud of us. It really has. It's stretched me in every single way, shape, or form, and then I have these amazing people who keep showing up in my life that are absolutely the perfect fit. Another one being Michelle. So I'll get a chance to talk about like how we're interacting and just feeling incredibly supported and loved, and like the whole universe is like cheering us on to really step into this alignment and this resonance. So I'd love to just kind of toss the little ball back and forth and talk a little bit about how the regenerative community initiative.
I think that's important because the vision you just shared with us is so exciting and it's so magnetic. It's beautiful. And the question that a lot of people ask is, well, how do you fund these things? And how do you bring the right people together to make them actually happen? And it doesn't need to just happen here. It needs to happen in every community, thousands of communities around the country and the world even, and on many different levels. And it's not just in wellness, because other things are ailing us. You know, there's a lot of things in our world that are ailing us. They're making us not well. Some of our food, the way we run energy through our lives and our cars, and there's so much that needs to be done. It's, you know, it's almost like the vision would be, and I was talking with Teresa earlier, if you can remember the last time that you were in an airplane and you looked out the window and you saw whatever city that you were flying out of or into, and if you ever have the thought, you can kind of have it right now, kind of call that experience back up when you look out the window and you think, look at all that sprawl, and you think, you know, everything I'm looking at has to be redone. It's just the way it is. Everything. Just about everything. I mean, there's some trees there, some lakes, those don't need to be redone. They were done like the first time. But most everything that we created as a civilization, it's wonderful, and it's not sustainable. It simply is not. It won't last. So we have to redo it. And that's a huge thing to think about. Most people, as Teresa said, most people, when they think about that, they want to kind of push that thought away because it's overwhelming. And for some people it's depressing, for some people it's scary. And I know because the first time I had that thought, I was 8 years old. And I've been keeping it alive ever since. And I kept it alive not because I like to be scared or depressed about something, but because I knew that if I let it die, I would become numb and I'd become part of the problem. So I was willing to keep that alive. And it's not always easy to keep those thoughts alive. And then the two things to remember about how do we do our part, because we all have a part to do in that, is is we can do a whole lot more when we do it together. And we have all the knowledge that we need. We have all the resources we need. It's just learning how to put it together differently. It's really, that's it. You know, when I was investing in real estate, I didn't know how to invest in real estate. I just decided I was going to learn. So I just started doing it. And trying and learning and making mistakes and figuring out how it worked. But one thing I learned in real estate, if you change your idea, the whole deal changes. And money flows and property changes hands and people's lives are changed because someone just went, what if we do it this way instead of this way? It's an idea. You know, with farmers, you know, the work that I've done with farmers in Hawaii for 15 years or more, it really was about just changing one perception. How about if we sign a contract with a farmer to buy their food before they plant? Hello? Most businesses wouldn't think of investing, you know, months and months and all their money and time into something if they didn't know who they're going to sell it to or if they even sell it. But that's what farmers do every day. Most of us walk around in our wellness life thinking, yeah, I want to be healthier. And we don't really have all of the support that we need to do everything that we want to do. Well, that's part of what this wellness center is, but it's got to integrate the other parts of life. So, you know, many years ago I started thinking, how can we really reorganize our relationships, our distribution of wealth and knowledge within existing systems, not having to wait for some mythical crash to happen, but just making a change now. We don't need to wait for some, you know, some people, one guy in Maui, he told me, well, I'm not going to invest in anything. I'm going to wait till after the crash. And then I'm going to invest, because everything when it crashes, everything is going to be knocked down anyway. And I looked at him and I actually told him, I said, if the scenario that you envision happens, what makes you think you're going to have anything left to invest? I said, how about doing something now so that it doesn't have to crash? How about a nice, soft recalibration that challenges us and that we can meet the challenge and have an amazing experience of transforming this planet? Why can't we do that? Well, we can, of course we can. So how do we do that? So the things, you know, you look at the bigger picture, you know, if you're willing to look at it long enough, it starts to speak to you. So what's been speaking to me over the years is money, education, relationship, right? Those are some of the big things: awareness, inspiration, connectivity. Those are the things that speak to me as how, when I look out that plane window, we can do the job. We can actually do that. I mean, there's one of the things to note is that middle-class people feel like, well, the ultra-wealthy have all the power because they have all the money. That's baloney. Middle-class people in this country have $26.1 trillion at their disposal. That's a lot of money. 26.1 trillion. I can send anybody who wants it the report. It's an independent report. I didn't make this up. Some views of that report actually say it's 40 trillion. But I'm taking the most conservative look at that report and minimizing it to, I know it's at least this much. What can we do with 26.1 trillion? Do you think we can rebuild some infrastructure? Can we educate ourselves differently? So what does it take to reshuffle how that wealth gets distributed and how it gets applied, so we create more jobs than we've ever imagined? Rebuilding our world, community by community, together, so that, you know, what's a great way to make friends? How about doing some work together, right? You ever done that, where you're doing projects with people and it's just so much fun and you really get to know them? You know, that's the kind of relationship bonding that needs to happen in community. We're not just talking about it, we're actually doing something that's productive. So we started this company, and one of the first things I knew we had to do, and it's taken 3 years to get to this point, partly because I didn't know Shiloh back then, but partly because we just had to learn a few things of how to do this. Nobody's ever done this before. How do we marshal all of the resources necessary and organize it so that, you know, we're not giving it to people, we're all giving it to each other. How do we just reorganize it so we're all giving it to each other, so we have the education, the training, the support, the relationship, and the money to do things that will make a difference? And so that's what the Regenerative Community Initiative is. We love acronyms because we like to go fast, so we call it the RCI. So the RCI is a way to bring all these resources together in a clear step-by-step system that includes the communities funding our projects. So we don't need to imagine there's some mythical figure that's going to come in here like Glinda the Witch Witch of the North and the Wizard of Oz in her little bubble and say, there's no place like home, and just tap us on the head and all of a sudden the money's there. We have the money. It's in this community. It's in every community. So we just need to connect the dots and organize it so that it flows. So that's part of what we're doing. And as a part of launching that around the country, you know, we're in 5 cities right now doing active work with food projects, because my background is with local food economics, organic local food economics. You set me on a path, Ron, so I've been doing it ever since. So I'm actually a sustainable organic food economist, even though I don't have an MBA on food economy, but I know things that those guys have never thought of that work. And so we're just doing what works. And so I grow farmers. I've been growing farmers for a long time. So if we want to eat in San Rafael, wherever you guys are from, you better appreciate your farmers, because they're growing the food that you need to eat. And if the farmers don't succeed, then we won't eat. When the price of driving all the food that we're eating now, 2,000 miles and more, to our table, when the price of driving all that food to us is not sustainable because it just costs too much for the fuel, what are we going to eat? Well, we better grow some more farmers. So that's been the originating part of our work. And so we're doing food projects in these different communities. But part of the reason why this is so important tonight for me and for our work together with Unified Fuel Corporation is because if we don't get this right, then how can we understand what needs to be done? How can we choose to focus on the love instead of the fear, the inspiration instead of the regret or whatever? You know, how can we choose to focus on what we want to accomplish more consistently when we've got all this screwy chemistry, you know, going in our heads that doesn't belong there, or we don't have that experience of wellness and vitality, or we're depressed, or we're whatever. It's like we have to get this and this right. And part of getting this right is getting our bodies right, so we can function. We've got energy. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed it, but this woman has some powerful energy. And she's going to accomplish anything she really focuses on. Good for us. She wants to focus on something that's going to help all of us and be an example to a lot more people. So how did she get this way? Part of it's just who you are, but part of it has been the way she's dedicated herself to creating a space like this, that as you just walk up to before you can come in the front door, you feel nourished. And when you're inside, you feel like, maybe I'm in heaven or something. It's just the vibration is really nice. Everything that you consume here is healing for your body and your soul. So that kind of stuff, if we start doing more of that, you know, I've talked to city council chambers, standing room only, packed, hundreds of people. And the energy of the Unified Fuel Corporation and our banks, as they, I have to do a disclaimer because I think we're being recorded. So we don't have any banks up yet. Forming a bank is a long process, and we've learned that we have to do it through projects. So we're birthing banks through projects. And so when we talk about unified fuel banks, we're talking about as they can be approved by all the regulators. So tonight isn't about starting a bank, so I have to be real clear about that. It's about starting this project, which as it starts to succeed, one of the things it will do is it will create an application for permission to organize a unified fuel bank in this community, which will then take all the stuff we're doing to finance this project and leverage that up many, many times over to provide a lot of future funding through that future bank for a lot of other projects. And along the way, we stimulate things like investment network proliferation and more peer-to-peer lending, and it's kind of a rush that comes through the community, and everybody gets on board, and all kinds of other things happen. So we're here, we're part of this project through the RCI, because we see wellness as just as important as food, just as important as banking. It's, you know, we really have to become as well as we can be so that we can do these things and do them powerfully and consistently. I mean, you know, do we need as much sleep? Well, you know, it's nice to get sleep, but we got to work. We have to drill through and manifest things. We need to do it together. So I guess that's a little bit.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a few more words, and then I'd like for us to interact. So it's really why I like to have these gatherings, because I want to hear about what's going on for you guys, what excites you, what brought you here, what do you see within this vision, do you see yourself involved, what is the level, what is the level of participation that this kind of project stimulates within you? The one thing I wanted to talk about, and it's a great preface to this conversation, is the thing that I crave the most and that I desire the most is connection. So the fact that we have all these amazing people floating around in the Bay Area, and I see most of you guys out at dance or at a music event or something that is social, is fantastic. I love how talented and how actively creative our community is. But I want to come together for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different purposes. Like, I spend a lot of time dedicated to my spiritual practices. I love offering these guided meditations I do. I love offering these quantum healing technologies that I do. I love offering the quantum playgrounds and aerial yoga and these different play structures and that kind of thing. But the whole reason for that is for connection for me. And there's so much opportunity for us to collaborate in ways that may not be obvious on the surface when we have these really fun, short, active interactions. And when can we really just drop in and talk about the ideas that are going to start shifting and changing the world? And doing it in a way that's fun, that's playful, that inspires insight. So part of what draws me to create this, because like, I really don't need another project, to be honest with you. I have about 100 going at any given time. I love everything that I do, and everything that I have been doing for the last 15 years has been leading up to opening something like this. And right now, we're in the potential stage where we haven't solidified a building, we haven't said yes to a particular space, but there are a couple spaces that we're looking at in San Rafael. And the idea is that, would a space in San Rafael work for everybody? You know, can this be enough of a draw that we could create this as a hub? For me, I love the accessibility. I love being 3 minutes from the highway. I love 580 and 101 meeting here, and that there's a convergence that comes from Fairfax and the North Bay and San Francisco, and I really feel this energy building here. And I love being in nature. I love being surrounded by beauty. One of these things coming from Philly that I really value. So for me, it's about the connection that these centers can offer. Not only for our amazing community, where we really get to be the example of spiritual uplifters and to really inspire and thrive, but we can actually continue to create the models that are repeatable and sustainable and reliable, that we can really start offering to other centers ways for them to really thrive and succeed by our example. So there will be more. So I really feel a draw. Never would I think that I would say this 3 years ago, but I really feel a draw to San Rafael. I really feel a draw to its vortexing energy. But I also invite you guys to share with me spaces or connections or opportunities with other people that might have the perfect space. Or maybe we do too, or whatever it is. The idea of like, we're practicing alignment principles. This is why David and I have really come into resonance with one another. So when somebody is aligned with our vision, when we have that kind of magnetic draw, then the universe is automatically just saying yes. Just say yes to this. And so I'm a big yes to anything that's really in alignment with this vision, and very open to hearing from you guys and having this be a we. And it's really exciting to just announce it. You know, like literally, this is the first time David and I are in public just saying, we're going to open up the Healing Rose Center. And it's totally going to happen. I can see it happen. It's already done. You know, it's coming to fruition. And now we're just pulling towards us all those pieces. What that looks like, how many people are involved, who's running the center. I'm not going to run the center. The good news is you don't have to interact with Jen Healy on a daily basis. I can be the visionary. I'm creating models. You know, I want to do, we'll have 3 major components. It'll be a research component, a relations component, and a retail component. And amazing people like Rose will be like awesome at relations, and Michelle, and Teresa. You know, it's just like, there's so many people that are in our community that would just be like complete badasses at that part, and it's so exciting. I'm most excited, honestly, about the research and development piece, and the idea that we actually get to create something that helps the alternative therapy community really have like the foundation and the footing to be considered like a real healing modality. So I go to basically advanced energy medicine. And then the retail piece is the fact that you can come there and get whatever you need. You know, that there are people offering nutritional programs and cleanses and superfoods and awesomeness on all levels. And so the idea is this community is really an offering to you guys. And the fact that I feel like I have this deep burning desire for connection and collaboration community, there must be some other people that I feel so in alignment and resonant with that are feeling the same way. And I think that there's other places that will really be inspired by what we're doing to just deepen what the models that they have. Like I love the center in SF where Brandon was supposed to be tonight. I love Mikey who's running that center. I've known him for like 15 years, and all these people that are doing similar things, I see them as like little orbiting circles out here. And so if we create a hub for all those people to come together and really practice the fact that this is an inclusive universe and live that way, then I think we will all just kind of rise up to another level. You know, just like having an exponential growth by coming to the center of that flower of life and that sacred geometry. So why don't we open it up? Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
There's tons, but I think
Yeah.
the most important thing now is for us to hear from you guys and
Great.
see what, you know, why you're here, you know, who are you a little bit. I think it's going to be important to keep it tight for the moment, because if we don't, we could be here for hours.
Yeah.
But tell us something of yourself, you know, a minute or something, and why you're here, what you want to see happen with all of this, maybe how you want to be involved. But just really let us all hear from you. Yeah.
Teresa wants to begin, which I love you. Just remember we're recording right behind you, so yeah, thank you. I love it. I know, she's like, let me in.
So
This is Teresa.
recently Jen and I were at a conference and she taught me something really important. So we're gonna now apply that. And that was that wisdom and teachings do much better when we embody them. So everybody stand up. We're gonna move. Yeah, just go with it. And then we can get back to sharing and being involved. But
So Rose, will you
they
come over
just
here for me?
shared all this amazing information, and so now we're just going to ground it in our bodies. So raise your arms up and imagine all this beautiful information, and it's like sun rays, and it's just shining down on this gorgeous tree that we are. It's coming in through the top of our head, and it's nourishing our branches and our leaves, and now it's floating down through our body, down into our legs. Let your whole body like kind of sway in the wind, and let your legs feel like they've got roots growing deep down into the earth, securely holding you so that you can be flexible. And those roots get intertwined with all these other beautiful roots of all these other souls, and that's where we connect. And now just bend over and let yourself drop for a moment. Let it all go. And roll up slowly, bringing your head up last. Raise your arms back up and be ready to let new stuff come in. Yay! Raise your hands and shake them. And okay, I'm done.
And now you have to tell us a little bit about yourself and what excites you and what brought you here, and how would you like to be involved, my dear sister?
In every way possible, because this is my dream too, and I feel like, seriously, when you started to say, okay, so just begin to imagine this dream, what would that feel like in your body? And I remembered back to when I was a cheerleader in high school, and I was just like, you know, that's how I feel inside. This is just, I'm so passionate and excited about this. I have had mind-body issues since I was born. And I was born extremely energetically sensitive and could often feel in my body what other people have going on in theirs, and I thought I was crazy. I was like, wait, what's happening? And I got migraines very early. My mom had wonderful, wise, hippie friends and brought me to learn transcendental meditation when I was very young. And I think I was about 15. I'm 51 now. and I've been practicing daily since I think I was about 23. So anyhow, there's lots of other stuff that has happened in my life. I've been very close to death about 3 different times, and so I'm passionate about life. That I'm here, that I can move, that I can dance, because doctors told me that I wouldn't, and that I would have fibromyalgia forever, that I would have spine difficulties forever, and I was like, I'm not going to buy that. And the universe has brought some strange things into my life, beautiful, amazing healers, and strange other stuff that got rid of other stuff, and but I was open to miracles happening. And so I'm here and excited and passionate about healing, and so I do artwork, I do cranial sacral therapy, I have a master's degree in consciousness and transformational studies and integral psychology, and I love to help people awaken and support them in their process of doing that. But everything for me is about healing and awakening. And so,
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Hi.
You're so awesome. So happy to have you. Yeah. And thank you for the movement piece, because that's exactly what I was doing at the big shift.
Came from you.
And what I did when I met David Rose. I was like, okay, everybody up. We need to take this information and really harness it, and like let it be infused into every cell of our being, so then we can go and emanate it, radiate that out, and start to really shift the energetics and the patterns and the perceptions of every person we come in contact with, and become it. So that was beautiful. Thank you.
Sorry.
And a little air is okay, because everybody has it.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm on fire. Anyway.
So who's next?
Well, my name is Dan, and I've known Jen for, I think, about 8 years. Met her out and about, and just always was attracted to her energy. Then came in and got a few healing sessions, and just purchased some of her healing technology. I use it daily, and it has really changed the way that my body feels. I'm so appreciative of you introducing all those technologies to me. And you know, I look at how to be part of the Healing Rose Center, and you know, I think about the embodiment of play, and you know, that's really what I feel my company is up to as well. And so it's nice to have one of our street striders here, and I think on Monday I'll be dropping off a second one, so you can actually take
buddy.
people. Yeah.
So Street Strider is this amazing, like, moving, skiing, elliptical machine that's like a bicycle, but you stand up and you tell them, I don't know. It's awesome. It's really quite a workout. And he is one of the main representatives for the company, co-founding, just lots and lots of involvement. But I also have to say, Dan and I have been talking for years about transforming his life and doing something that he's super excited and passionate about. So I see a bigger relationship with the Healing Rose Center coming in, you know, and whatever that looks like. That's the type of opportunities that I want to offer and work with people that are really ready to step into their power and their passion and their radiance. So I really think this is an opportunity for that as well, Dan.
Great. I look forward to heading down the path.
More goodness. Yeah. Feel free to bring a street strider over.
Oh yeah.
Which anybody can try it if they like.
Sit beside you.
Yeah, I love this game.
It's the best business presentation ever.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and Jen and I have been working together and doing some very deep soul work, and I have been just incredibly wowed and in awe by the depth of her mission and the work that she does, and I feel like the world is craving this right now, this new vitality and zest for life. And just real quick about me, I was working in corporate IT for about 12 years and was dying inside. So I created my own company, became an entrepreneur, and called Play Concierge. So I am all about embodying play, and I became the chief play officer. And my mission in life is to create priceless experiences for people to connect with themselves and with their loved ones and with others. And so our mission, I call it heart orgasms, is very similar. And I created a really incredible model where Obama even reviewed it and said this will be an economic and heart stimulus for the United States. It hasn't come to fruition, but the people and the network that I've met through that process, investors and philanthropists and corporate executives, has been a huge gift for me, and really combining the worlds of spirituality and business. And so I want to help in any way that I can, and offering the network that I have, and I really believe in what you're doing.
Thank you so much. This woman has been an incredible support. And just so you know, like, she has her little precious fingers in all of these papers too, because whenever like I needed to create something, this is the woman that I go to and be like, Michelle, do your business thing that you do, and I do my little spiritual thing, and I make you feel, and you make me sound smart. It's like the perfect relationship. So she's helped me so much feel confident to step into a business arena that is completely new to me. I'm all like, executive summary, what? And then of course David Rose has been like seriously holding my hand, and just such a precious gift to like have somebody believe in me and stand by me and drive an hour several times a week to meet with me, and just the time and devotion that these two amazing people have had to have this day be possible, particularly meeting our goal of June 1st and putting together this amazing packet, which of course we haven't been like step-by-step reviewing, but I do encourage you to take it with you and check out the questionnaire, and just wanted to thank you so much. It's invaluable what you offer, just that little support, and excited about how this continues to unfold. Yay! Well, this is a fun game. Anybody else want to come sit with me? I don't have to, but... Up next!
Even though I have a mouthful of chocolate all of a sudden.
Slow down then, slow. And I'd really love Rose to reappear at some point, but she'll come when she's ready. Who knows? Come on in. Oh, God, I love this game. This is like the favoriteest.
This is what made me come up here, actually. I'm with that. Now, I have a little bit of a funny story with this, because I got your text last night. At like 10:30 at night, I got your text about this with a link on it. And it was like 10:30 at night. I've been just working on this website all day, and I was like, I was up in the high Sierras, and I got your text, and I opened it, and I read it, and I was like, I totally need to be there. Got it real clear. And then I blended it, and I thought it was this whole thing, and it was also the pool party.
I told you that was
So
clever.
I didn't bring my I brought my swim trunks.
You go in the pool.
I'm just hoping to be a pinata.
Me, Pablo, got it. Okay.
So I just wanted to share that, and I actually invited some friends and stuff too, because I thought it was a big pool party. So, but, you know, I think they go together.
Totally.
And
Nice strategic planning.
yeah, when I read what you sent, it was just very compelling. I was like, it's so right now. And I like David was saying about trying to catalyze these things years ago, maybe just decades ago in Hawaii, when there was a lot coming up about community, people wanting to do healing centers. It was like very much like this kind of gathering conversation was happening. And we had big money people, there was so much energy, and for whatever reason there was just all these different roadblocks. For lack of a better word, it just wasn't quite happening in the 3D, but it was very clear that everybody wanted this. And so it kind of like, for me at least, in my experience, it kind of went to this peak and then it kind of plateaued. And I feel like a lot of people just sort of dissipated, and I think there's so many people that want community, want healing, want exactly what we're talking about, like a new paradigm of banking and finances. And I think the financial thing is a big, like you were saying, it's not just health and wellness and healing, but actually the lacking, the not having enough idea that we may all carry in some way or another, where I don't have enough to do. I think about how so much of us are just making our rent, where what could we be doing as like superheroes, where we're like taking this energy and working towards a sustainable future for the planet, putting in clean energy and clean water and education and all these things that are actually really important, instead of paying rent every month and like having just getting out of like that survival mode. And I've seen even like this room, or say 100 people that were just completely financially empowered to shift the paradigm on the planet, and then to be able to duplicate that, and I sense that without really getting the full download. I get that's where you're going, and I know that's where you're at, and I know that on a personal microcosm level, I really need that breakthrough to where I become unlimited in my relationship to abundance and resources, and we all do, and the planet does. So whatever's going on for me is also going on for the planet. So I'm just really excited and happy to be involved in those things.
Thank you so much for coming, and I do know that we've had a lot of conversations about this, and I know that this is so perfect. It's so prime, like you're saying, I've had this vision for a decade. So many people have been wanting this to happen, and now it's happening, and I so invite you to be involved in it in whatever level, that feels right for you. Because especially you two meeting, like the conversations that Malcolm and I have had, it's come to a lot of my gatherings and all that. It's just really exciting, so thank you for taking
Yeah, and there's a lot happening in my life that I'll talk at another time that would fit in and plug right in. It's just all synchronized, and I think that's probably happening around the planet where it's all just gonna kind of plug in, where it's like, oh my God, we've all been thinking, so many people are connected on the same level. So
just creating the vortex for it to
super
happen.
exciting, and we're ready for the next.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely willing to do it. Like, I really believe that we're the ones that we're waiting for, but like I'm the one that I've been waiting for, and I'm willing to step into that place and do it. Where I'm like, yeah, I think you're effing amazing, and that you have so much talent and skills. Let's make it happen. Let's actually create the platform for that to happen. And Michelle is the same way, and so I love working with her because she's doing that for me, and I get to do that for you. And David's doing that for me, and now he gets to do that for you. Like, really, it is the most fulfilling and rewarding position to be like, let's really do this and create this. And anybody who knows me knows that I am like straight up going to do it. So we might as well just do it together. It's done. Seriously. I'd like to invite Trinity to say something because I know you have to go.
Yeah.
And I love you so much. So this woman is seriously amazing. I don't know if you guys have met Trinity before. She does so much. And she really came out of her way, not really knowing why. Most people are like, all right, I'll come. I don't know what's going on. AJ's like, I'll be there. And I just want to give you an opportunity to share anything that you're excited about, or how you would like to be involved, or what you hear about the vision that really brings you the life, and anything you want to share about yourself.
Okay.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Hi everybody, my name's Trinity. I've known Jen actually, it's more than 13 years. I mean,
A long time.
and I remember I still have this frame. We're at our mutual friend Tuneens, and Jen was like talking about the length of our intestines, and it sparked this whole conversation because a lot of people were
Sexy.
Yeah, it was pretty sexy. She's like, no, and we were talking about colonics and things, and it was pretty fun. So there's one frame I still have of Jen. Yeah. So, and at that time in my life, I was in the medical field. My background is I started out in medical technology, and I soon learned I didn't really want to be a lab rat. I wasn't really making a difference there, and it just wasn't where my, brain was guiding me. And so I went into physical therapy because I was able to really rehab and help people get back to their optimum health, and especially in the physical domain, because I do live there, but Jen trumps, everybody in our community in that regard, and so I quickly learned that I couldn't make a difference with people really in their life, because the medical field is very closed-minded, and I got written up at Kaiser Permanente for sharing with my chronic neck patient about transformation. At that time I was doing landmark education, and I shared the forum with her, and she ended up doing the forum, and I ended up discharging her. And that was the whole talk in the clinic, and I actually got written up for that, which was just eye-opening, and I resigned pretty much the next month. So then I went into business, so I play this role of wanting to be a healer, but I'm so drawn to business, and I'm so drawn to being a hub for people. And so I share the same, I think, background as you. I went into IT, medical technology, which made sense, and I sold radiology PAC systems for years, and 3D medical imaging. And recently, fast forward 13 years later, I now declare myself an entrepreneur. I co-founded a transformational festival called Envision in Costa Rica. Yeah. And I think transformation is really the core of who I am and empowerment. But for me, I'm still vacillating in like, where can I make the biggest difference? And what I've created is just being this human resource. So I am so excited because I would like to do outreach for your center. I'm starting a travel agency, which is around holistic travel. I went to India recently and I met one of the 4 founding families in Ayurvedic medicine down in Kerala. We spent a lot of time together and it's a beautiful family. And so this sparked the idea for me is like, how can I bring people who really need healing, like people who have mental illnesses, people who have cancers, people who are like really don't have the resource. And so my one request would be that this center makes it accessible for all people. You know, people like who financially can't afford to come to California and experience what we live every day. So that's my one request.
Yeah. I'm definitely
to make
on
it
it.
really accessible that way.
You know, I want to speak to that just for a minute because, you know, we all have different needs and different relationships with money. But there are infinite ways to structure a community's relationship with money, right? So for example, Cafe Gratitude used to be really big up here until they had to move most of their stuff out. And they had something called a gratitude bowl, right? So you pay $10 for a meal that you're not going to eat, and then the next person that walks in the door that doesn't have money to eat, they give them some food. Well, I'm good friends with Matthew and Tersian, and I was on a conference with them, speaking with them, and I got to know them, and they said, you know, the first 3 months that we did the gratitude bowl, it outsold the next most popular thing on the menu 4.5 times. No, 3.5 times.
Yeah, people
So,
want to.
so that's respinning the economics so that everybody has some. And people that paid the $10, they got something back too. They felt great. And you know, how many times has somebody come up to us and said, "Can you give me some money?" And you want to help them, and the thought comes, "Well, I sure hope they don't buy more alcohol with it, or I sure hope they don't buy something that's going to hurt them." I want, you know, if you knew for sure that that money was going to nourish them, you'd give it to them so much more freely, and you'd give more probably, right? So this kind of thing just works on so many levels. So when you bring that up as a request, it's not. It doesn't need to be a request. It just needs to be
It's a
the way we do
given.
everything.
Good.
Within,
Right.
working within universal laws, and that's
Yeah.
what's the basis of David and I, and where we connect, is I really wanna bring more scientific backbone into the spiritual practices, so we understand how nature works, we understand how energy works, we understand how exchange works. And I originally, 10 years ago, created this as a donation-based nonprofit healing center so we can remove all those excuses and everybody has the accessibility to the healing that they need. And now what we're doing is we're creating like a multi-level model. So it is dynamic enough so there's room for everyone. And part of the research component is people get to volunteer in order to create these healing models for us, and they get the services they need. And they're giving back to the community because the work that they offered is changing the life of the next person. So there's a nonprofit grant funding component to the research that will allow for this. Plus the relations and the retail components will be the for-profit that allows us to thrive so we can keep feeding back into the community, not only the type of services that we need, but also the type of funding and the type of resources to kind of create that momentum. That's spiraling.
I owned a yoga studio, and that's what we did. Everyone that worked for us was a volunteer, and they got yoga in exchange, and it worked so well, and they took responsibility and ownership, in a sense, for the studio. So I saw this living and working, and it's still thriving.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a very, very important component of mine, and I actually shifted that only in the last couple months of giving up the donation-based nonprofit healing center to create the Healing Rose Center. So we change our relationship to money. Instead of just giving it away where it's like, oh, the scarcity paradigm of like, just let it be donated, or like, I don't have enough, so let me just give what I can. It's feeding into the same paradigm that like I'm wanting to lift us out of, which is we do have the resources, our community has the strength and the capacity to take care of each one of its people, but also not only give the handouts, but have them feel like so important that they're thriving. And this is the way they get to give back, and everybody really is significant in the exchange. So I thank you to speak to that, and I really look forward to seeing how we're working together besides you flying people around the world for us.
I know.
Which is awesome. I
Yeah,
love that.
definitely want to be a hub for Healing Center. So.
Yeah.
And so I love the idea of San Rafael, and
Thank you.
I think it's a great place.
Thank you for coming. I know you have to run off, so.
Thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
We'll talk soon.
Blessings.
Okay, so Rose, would you like to come up and speak a little bit? I was looking for you and I was like, where'd she go? So this is Rose, who does amazing things and just appeared out of nowhere. And I'm so happy and grateful for that. She's actually my assistant for the Healing Sanctuary, so she's helping me with different events and gatherings and taking care of all the gazillion odds and ends that make this place immaculate and impeccable in its divine order. But she's also going to be integrally involved in Healing Rose Center, because her visions and our visions are very much aligned. So she's also being trained up in the aerial yoga play and the quantum playground and every other way that I can possibly get her involved. So I'd love for you to just speak a little bit about your experience of this whole journey and what excites you and what you see and anything else you want to share.
So I guess it all starts with our parents, right? My dad was a doctor, and he was always the type of doctor that told everyone that he ever came in contact with to get more sleep, eat better food, and to exercise. And everyone loved him. He never had a patient that ever disliked anything he ever did. He was a great doctor. And so I spent most of my life immersed in medicine. When it was time to choose a college program, I was a rebellious teenager and decided to study physics. But through studying physics, I've gotten to have the opportunity to take classes with that look at the energy movement through crystal structures and those sort of things, and how energy moves through cells in the body, and really getting to see how the world kind of coalesces when you've got the purity of just love and light going into people. And so while I was taking those classes, I had my first raw food experience. I don't know if you guys ever remember your first raw food experience, but absolutely blissed out, completely can't stop smiling. Anyways, at the raw food gathering, I met a bunch of people that went to integrative nutrition and started my journey as a holistic health practitioner. I'd already been teaching yoga for quite a few years, but started learning more and more about how food influences the body. So through integrative nutrition, I started a nonprofit, and the mission actually is to start healing centers. And so I was really excited to come and meet these guys and to see what they're doing and working on, and so I can learn a lot. And through starting that nonprofit, I've had the opportunity to do lots of stuff with organic farming and working on renewable biofuels that farmers can use that help to, again, change the way money is handled. And I'm on a food policy committee back at home, which is super similar to what David's doing. Even though it's in Maryland, I still phone in and send lots of documents and do lots of work for everyone. It just, I've been doing research for years on different restaurant models and food models. There's a food cooperative back at home where people volunteer. It's owned by everyone there's probably 30 people who own the company, and they have certain responsibilities, and they get paid certain amounts, and then volunteers can come in and work for food and make sandwiches and those sort of things. So it decreases the cost of labor and creates a really sustainable model. And I stumbled upon San Rafael and Jen through 7 different moves in a year, which has included being in other countries too, completely not planned. And it's just wonderful to get to be here and offer what I've learned, and I look forward to continuing to bring together the science behind what works and how the body functions, and how that works with food and nutrition, and the physics of it. And it's just a gift to be here and be able to serve all of you.
Thank you.
Rose is going to be involved with creating the interactive database that will allow that information to flow through a model that most of the practitioners and therapies and different ideas that are coming together around healing can be collaborated and shared through different centers. So that's really exciting that she already was doing that, and I already had that idea, and the universe is matching and pairing us all up like that in so many different ways. I'm like, oh, David, Rose, and I have been doing it gazillion of times too, being like, you have that idea, I have that idea too, and then here is all the information we need. And so instead of things being linear and taking one step at a time to eventually get to a goal, it's been exponential in the growth in just the last couple months, the people coming in and the exciting pieces that they've already taken time to develop, and creating the nonprofit and the food piece, and it's all really exciting. So thank you so much, Rose, and thanks again for today, all the love that you poured into this yummy food. We're doing a Super Yum workshop June 20th here. There'll be a follow-up meeting for this on June 11th, so if anybody wants to drop in and have a little bit more of an intimate setting where we're really sharing divisions and ideas and all that, we do have another opportunity on June 11th. But we're doing Super Yum on June 20th, all in my newsletter. So thank you, Rose.
So
Can we
Jen?
just ask who has a gray Prius and a white Prius? Yeah, thank you.
Lots of people. Yeah.
Yeah, so who has the gray Prius?
Yeah, I'm familiar. So, if everybody wants to come up and have a seat, we can continue doing this format if everybody's enjoying it. If we want to do a little bit of a quicker introduction.
Prius? I'm sorry, I really
That's
have
okay.
an appointment to go to.
He's going, they're going. They both went out.
They both went out.
Oh, they did? Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they heard you. Thank you. So if everybody's happy with sitting around and having this longer discussion, that's totally fine with me. We're basically able to continue the same format or move into questions and answers. If each person wants to stand up and just say a minute of what they're excited about, how they want to get involved, what brought them here, that's great too. We kind of just can leave it up to the group. And are you guys enjoying the way that this is flowing? Would you like to move into questions and answers? How is everybody feeling to keep the energy flowing?
It's going perfect.
Oh, yay.
Incredible. It's an incredible gathering.
I've been
Incredible
enjoying it, but I
souls.
totally am sensitive to the time thing. We're basically going to hang out for another half hour, I figured, and do this part of it. And then I wanted to move back into like a socializing hour from 9 to 10 of just having more yums and enjoying the elixirs and foods, and also creating connection between everybody. After standing up and sharing what we're doing, there might be some spark or energetic hit, like, oh, let me go talk to that person and ask them about their film, or talk to them about their travel agency, or talk to them about that healing therapy. So,
How,
is everybody happy?
say, how about you though? You wanted some more feedback, right?
Yeah, I'd like
From
to
everybody.
shift a little bit. Maybe we
Yeah.
can do a little bit more pop-up, expedited energy, but that's just my
Yeah,
perspective.
let's try it. And if anybody has something longer than to say, then, we'll entertain that, but like a minute each. And then we'll move into some questions that you might have for us. And would you like to go next, Shiloh? No, just expedite.
Expedited
Love
thing?
you.
That was pretty expedited.
Yeah.
A minute of just who we
Yeah.
are, what's going on.
Yeah,
Stand up.
sure, thank you.
I'll sit next to
Yeah,
you.
I know, come on in. Neil and I have been friends for a long time as well, which is great. Met Shiloh and just synergy. Thank you for being
Thank you.
here. Yeah.
Thank you for all of your love
Yeah.
and support and
Oh my
doing
God.
what you do. And
So happy to have you.
yeah, Jen's been a really supportive person with various things in my life. Actually, she connected me to a director I worked with. Actually, and we got to go
great
around the world, and it was about energy healing. And we actually visited a healing center in Malaysia that was built all on phi ratio spiral principles and the planets, and had these different rooms with different kinds of healing technology in it. And we interviewed different people that had created various kinds of healing technology and whatnot. So
Yeah.
in the very quick, yes, I work in arts and media and also have a background in nutrition and healing and alchemy, and the way that energy flows through the body and how doing certain things can enhance that and make people more in alignment with themselves and the universe and whatnot. So there's many different ways that I'm excited about this, and probably like everybody in this room share a vision of what it would be like to have hubs
Yeah.
everywhere, and particularly like Jen was saying, a place that wasn't necessarily just focused around food or just focused around trying to talk over loud music or then having to leave abruptly when it's done, and etc. So I think there's lots of room for that, and also lots of room for the new technology. And I love the idea also about working together. There have been a couple opportunities I've had in Marin, things that are in organizations that are no longer here, and then to a lesser degree some nonprofit organizations that are still around, but where there is a synergy that happens once there's a place where that people can work together on various projects and be supportive of each other, and have a place where that it feels that so much nurturing is happening in the community, because there are so many creative, brilliant people. And my favorite times have been when that we've been able to circle together and work on big projects together, and then smaller projects amongst ourselves. And so this is really exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. You're definitely one of the brilliant Marinites that I'd love to get involved. You know, we've been orbiting around each other for so long, and just so much talent pouring through this being, and so many other friends, like, you know, in the similar circles that were wanting to be here or will be here, you know, June 11th or in the future. So the more that we just keep sharing this vision with people and invite people in, like, magic is going to happen. So thank you. Thank you for speaking to that. Really appreciate it. I'm so glad you and Shiloh have teamed up and met Shiloh at that same leadership weekend, and just love the connection we had. So really happy that these these friendships are all forming. Who else would like to share? AJ! Yay! Another beautiful brother who just said, yeah, I'll come by. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I actually don't know Jen that well yet, but you have this infectious energy that I'm drawn to. And I think that if that becomes a part of these centers, it'll be something very successful, a place that I'd like to come and hang out. I'm an activist. I have an outreach nonprofit called Harmonic Humanity, and we reach out to people who are homeless. One of the things that we're doing this year is coming back to the table with our concept and dreaming up ways that we can take the program national. So it's a very big, undertaking, and lots of stories and fears and things start to get in the way. So I'm in the work of disappearing those stories and those limiting thoughts, and really getting to the root of what would it take to make something be national and be able to serve people all over the world. I'm very in innovation, which is what my work is all about as an artist and with Harmonic Humanity. So I think what you guys are doing is
What's your name again?
AJ
AJ,
Lovelands.
thank you. You're welcome. Did you sign in?
I didn't sign it.
We need to, by the way,
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
came in
people
through the
are
back door
already.
because he thought it was a pool party.
Please make sure that you sign in.
Yeah.
And if you can fill out the questionnaire before you go, that's great too. But we want to not capture in terms of limit, but synergize with what's happening. Thanks,
So,
AJ.
as you guys were speaking, you're welcome, and I just wanted to get up and just shake my hands and say, yes, this is something that's really, really needed. I think what I would love to see with the center is a lot of storytelling and sharing of media through film and through writing and through speaking, and if there was some kind of media center there where people could kind of broadcast what's happening in these places beyond the walls, and
Definitely.
getting it out to the world, that would be really
Definitely.
educational and empowering for a lot of people. So anything that I can do with my
Absolutely.
work, I'm happy to help out. It's great to see that you have so many amazing friends here.
Yeah, it's really special.
And I'm glad that you're one of them, really.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been really powerful getting to know you, and I do know more about your work than, just running into you at the pool party and
Yeah.
stuff. But I also think it's amazing because the piece that you're bringing in is a very important integral piece to my vision, and it's in the little packet there. So let's stay in communication about that, and I like the idea that it could expand nationally through this hub and through the consciousness grid that we're creating. So it feels
I think it will.
really right.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Talk soon.
That's really great. And I appreciate you just being willing to show up. That's so awesome.
And I have to take Christopher to a craft.
Christopher.
Ciao, Bella. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
For the gathering.
I'm so glad you got to meet Martin. This is full
Yeah.
circle here. It's so amazing.
You're in the neighborhood.
We'll be in touch. Yeah. Thank you, AJ. Anybody else? Martin, hey, what about that?
God, wow.
The hot seat.
The hot seat.
The hot
It
seat.
is. Wow, wow, wow.
Hi.
Well, it was love that brought me here, for sure. I'm originally from England, and I came here with a movie based on a book. I don't know if anyone's heard of a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
So I made a movie of this book, and we got the guys that did The Secret to distribute it throughout the United States. And I was kind of waiting because I was developing my own entertainment portal to bring it out to other people's movies, and other people's books, and other people's music, and then conscious products and amazing things. And I was in LA, and I met Daria, who's right here. So my heart called me to Marin. I've never been to Marin 4 months ago. I didn't even know exactly where it was. I've been through once. And then a mutual friend knew Jen, and Daria's friend was here, and I just kind of came into this house, this vortex. And Jen said, "Oh, try, this is what I do. I've got this healing technologies," and I said, "Anything that brings me more in tune, sign me up." So I kind of signed up at everything, and I immediately sort of knew this whole place had this great energy and great power. And I'd actually met David before. We had a meeting 4.5 years ago. So everything was kind of embryonic, and then I saw David here, and he was like, "Wow, oh my God!" It was almost like I saw you yesterday, but now it's 4.5 years later, and it's here. And you kind of wonder why certain things occur. What serendipity, magic, really, in the universe is bringing you to certain places, and what attracts certain, why am I here? David here as well with incredible stories as to why he's here. We're all, I think, got incredible stories as to why we're here. I just happen to film mine. And to be honest, I'm blown away a little bit because I had no idea all this kind of was happening. And at the same time, what had awakened in me, by being in Marin, was I was attracted to this hill, this particular hill in Fairfax, beautiful hill. I went up this hill and I said, "Oh, wouldn't it be amazing if you could build on this hill?" And it was just like a what if, and I didn't think anything of it. But I've been in touch with a few real estate agents. I just wanted to see, I've got a property in LA, and I wanted to see what kind of properties were around here, what they looked like, and envisioning the place if Darren and I were to settle down, where would it be, what would it look like? So I wanted to kind of get that in my mind. And the very next day, the hill itself was on the market for sale. And I was like, "Oh my God, how strange." So I'm sitting in Good Earth, and literally this little Indian guy came up to me and he said, "Oh, Buddha, but I don't know why I'm attracted to you. I've got to talk with you. I don't know why, but I feel as though I've got to speak with you." And then he said, "Oh, there's this heiress, how do you say it? Heiress, who's got this huge amount of wealth. I really feel you've got to speak with her." I said, "Okay." I'm still paying attention. In the meantime, I've been doing this great work with Jen. I'm living in this great vortex, this house. I'm inspired by love and all these great things. And then I'm looking at the old Good Earth. Do you know that? Empty. I'm looking at the gas station next door. Empty. I'm looking at the gas station opposite that. Empty. And I'm thinking, that's so interesting. And then suddenly I started thinking, like, I love the hill. I was thinking like this like living on the hill. And then I was thinking, wow, wouldn't it be great to have a temple, like a place, a yoga place that people could come, but it'd be a place where people could get married on the hill. Like get married on this beautiful hill. And then I was thinking like the good earth, I was thinking, oh my God, this is like a dream come true. Love Earth Film Studios and Entrepreneur Centre. How magical would that be? And I never knew any of this was, I just knew these meetings were happening, I didn't know anything was happening. So then I think, well, you know, I did, you know, the Think and Grow Rich, the 13 Mastermind Principles, and if you know them, last one's 6 senses, imagination, but really you have to visualize what you want to create. So I got these architects, these great architects, to draw up the plans of what it would look like if the Good Earth was turned into Love Earth Film Studios and an Entrepreneur Centre. And literally the plans came through this morning, well, one major part of it. Yes. And the other part would be like a Love Earth like cafe, a place where people could meet, because that and turn it but green, the whole, it's like a concrete mass, right? It's like this blot on the landscape right now in Fairfax, an empty space is just doing nothing. And how about converting into a beautiful Love Earth cafe? And then opposite that, the other gas station I thought was like a spiritual. I was thinking, how's the healing part going to work? How's the healing part going to work? Like, when's that part going to be? And of course, like, that's what. And it's like, oh my, so all this is blowing my mind a little bit as that all this thing, because I had no idea this great whole system and executive summary had been drawn up. I'd already drawn up my executive summary for Love Earth as an entertainment website. That's already done. And the other parts are sort of slotting into place. And so I'm still kind of fathoming it all out, I've got to be honest. It's like, so...
We talked about this last
like,
night.
I know.
He was all like, oh, what are you doing? He's like,
I know.
he thought I was...
I know. I thought it was here.
He thought this was going to be the new healing center. I'm like, well, this already is. Now we're actually opening up like 25,000 square feet, big open space for events and gatherings and seminars and all that jazz. 5 treatment rooms, whole cafe, multimedia lounge and library, like all these different spaces within it working together. One of the spaces we're looking at is the Terrafin Crossing. Building right in front of it was like a motorcycle dealership, beautiful corner lot, round, has a building attached to it that would be perfect for the bank. So we've been in communication with them. We'll see what happens. There's a couple other places that people have been telling me about. The woman I talked to, the first thing she said when David and I called, she's like, well, what about the old Good Earth? So it definitely is on the market, and you know, definitely is in the hologram in some way for Martin. But it is really exciting because this is why we get together, right? And the ideas start to pop and start to expand, and then you know, you have so many other incredible film, media people like AJ that would just be great to see you guys come together, for sure. Keep the connections flowing. Thank you for being here, Martin. It's been really amazing journey. To love. Yay! Martin also endured my entire Transform program, which was like 3 months of transformation that happened this spring, like after the 2012 alignment and all the energetic shifts. So I want to thank you.
And really exciting.
Thank you for taking this journey and just diving in. It's been really great.
Yeah. No, I just think anything that's this kind of energy and expanded will be brilliant, and it will be successful.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Much love. So, where are we with time? How are we doing?
We're doing great.
We're doing great.
We got 7:45, 8:45.
Oh, perfect. How about you guys in the back? Hello? Anybody? Yes! I'm really enjoying this. I have to say, this is like my favorite thing about
show.
But in my throne. I know.
You want a connection, yeah.
So tell me all about yourself.
Well, I'm from northern Michigan, by way of Colorado, and I think what's really interesting to me about all this is that I've been thinking so much about collaboration. As I'm launching these small businesses, the world seems big. It seems really challenging. There are gigantic structures that are set up by, you know, the way business runs, the way that everyone interacts, the money systems we have. Huge structures, really hard to make any shift. Like you try to take corn out of our agriculture. Good luck. You know, it's really deeply embedded by money, power. And as I'm trying to launch a small business that's taking on alcohol, you know, where these are gigantic challenges. You know, and distribution in the alcohol realm is run by mobsters. It's straight out of the Depression era. It's still like that.
It is.
This huge, interesting challenges, and you know, as you mentioned earlier, Dave, it's like there's not too many people doing, you know, elixirs.
The way you're doing elixirs.
Sure.
These elixirs are brilliant, just so you know. They're actually called brilliant elixirs, and I fully support this guy, and have been for a while. Whenever I have anything, I'm like, I want your elixirs there, because I really believe in you, and I really believe in your vision. And he had another gig to go to tonight, and I was like, I'm just letting you know that this is what I'm doing, and I'd love for you to be involved in some way. And he's like, I want to come to your thing. And I was just like, perfect. Thank God you screwed up the order, so I was like forcing you to come and bring more bottles of goodness. But no, this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing. So these people who are really just brilliant on so many levels have these incredible projects, products, ideas, feeling supported, feeling like not only, we don't have to take on these big mobster businesses. We create new systems that are successful and sustainable that our community is supporting and believing in, and then it doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I'm not taking on Western medicine. I'm creating a whole new energy medicine. It's just like, instead of looking back, I'm moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what I was coming to in these last couple of weeks. Like, I started thinking, I would really like to create like a center, or you know, probably in Oakland or something, where we could go, and there would be a healthy way to go and to imbibe things, to socialize with others, and instead of just going to a bar and pounding shots, you could go and you could drink elixirs. I know they have a great one in LA, there's a great one in Boulder, we don't really have one, Cafe Gratitude's gone. And so I started talking about that, thinking about that, and centers start popping up to me. There's a chocolate collective going in downtown Oakland. There's right across from the Hub, a good friend of mine is putting in a holistic healing and entertainment center right across from the Hub in Oakland. And now this is going in. And in just like 2 weeks of even starting to think about this, all these things are popping up. And I think it's about the synergy between all of them, creating this new capacity where it's not like one guy's got a great product, that's getting thrown forward and it's going to save the world. It just doesn't work that way. That gets bought out by code. It's about everyone linking hands together that has a vision of a better world, a healthier world, a world where it's not all tied by the bottom line. It's about the Cafe Gratitude meals and helping others, and you know, creating really an embodied connection between humans.
That's right.
Where we're putting it into our businesses and into our lives. And I think with spaces like this and what you're envisioning here, even for me sitting here, it goes, whoa, that sounds like really big. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But it's
Talk
totally
about it.
feasible.
When I'm like doing it every day, I'm all like, oh my God, I'm doing this. This is actually happening. I'm actually doing it because there's amazing people like this guy and that woman and that person, just all these people showing up that are like, yes, we can do this. It is the we. And I want to link with all these other centers, so we strengthen through that connection, through the collaboration, and through the community. Like, I'm very deeply steeped in my spiritual practices, and like, I didn't have this focus on community a couple years ago. I had a totally different focus, and each year Spirit's like, this is it. Last year was all about alignment and resonance, and before that was about responsibility, accountability, and integrity. Each year it's been like, this is the focus, this is where the energy is coming through, and this is the year for connection, collaboration, and community. I am 100% sure of it. So that is what I'm craving, and that's where my heart's desire is burning most to create, and it's showing up. So thank you. Yeah.
Excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I am excited to have you part of it. Thank you. Yay. And I really do love your elixirs. I'll support that in every single possible way, because like, I want every single person that I'm in contact with to thrive. Really. Like, we're all just way too amazing to be wasting it anymore. And we really need to do it together. So yeah, full on. Okay, so anybody? Oh good God, y'all, it's David K. Hey, in the house. Oh my goodness.
Yes, Jen.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
So David is a pure saint. I'll have to tell you, he's lived with me for 2 years. 2 years in June, somehow. This man is made of gold. All right, what you gotta say? Live up to that.
Just that you're such a special soul. And it's been a challenge for me to be here for 2 years at times. But it's also been wonderful and glorious and enlivening. And I've met great people here. And Jen's vision and the way she can communicate and open up this beautiful space to the community and to people on a consistent basis is really wonderful. I commend her highly for that. And she has some great abilities and is just a very special person, very special, and I acknowledge that from the bottom of my heart. And it's the attraction of what she's offering and her potential that keeps me coming back for more, you know, because half the time I might not be here. I may be traveling off far parts of the world, but it's always a pleasure to come back. Anyway, I am open to share and to support in this vision and in this creation any way I can. I don't know exactly how I fit in. We're all, you know, cogs in the wheel. Well, you know, she loves the superfoods that I scour the world
He does, for the very, very best.
It's amazing.
We connect in excellence. Like, I am just such a deep believer in the highest, best quality and excellence, and that's where we meet. It's just the, like, above and beyond any Call of Duty to scour the earth for the very best superfood, so.
It used to be cannabis.
He's a pusher. He's pushing kilos of cashews now, one or the other. He's on the phone. Hilarious.
You know, yeah.
His skills come in handy, but.
We've all been designed for,
For
you know,
greatness.
certain roles in this world.
Yeah.
You know. I guess I have the background of some business and, you know, traveling to find the best. And when I was a young man, unfortunately, I had to take a bullet point blank and have a near-death experience and almost, you know, leave this plane. And it was raw living foods that brought me back to life, you know. All the doctors and their operations and their drugs couldn't do it. And fortunately, a few years later, I got into yoga. And yoga was the best thing I learned. You know, it was so good. It got my body back into shape after, like, being, you know, wrecked. And, you know, I also taught some yoga for about 10 years and met all these different teachers and, you know, try to gain whatever I can, because after being in jail, you know, a few times, I got actually into yoga in jail, but, you know, I was starting to look for more purpose, a deeper purpose in life, because I had partied and, you know, I grew up in the rock and roll, sex, drug era, big time, and had experienced, you know, all the great sensations and highs. But it was in jail, you know, through really going within, I realized, you know, there is something within us that is phenomenal, and this is really the core or the essence of what can heal us and the world. And it was, you know, 10 years after being involved with teaching mainly Hatha yoga that I had the very good fortune to come in the presence of the true one. Now, I can't tell you in words, you know, who this was or what this power is, but I could tell you it was a saint, a holy saint, or a master prophet of the absolute highest caliber. And I was initiated into this science, the most ancient science on the planet. It's the science of light and sound, which, you know, Jen being a physicist, she knows this is the be-all and the end-all. It's the beginning of everything, you know, and the beginning was the word. And anyway, it's been 26 years now that I've had the good fortune to practice this meditation on the inner light and inner sound. And this is what got me through thick and thin. I mean, I had the feds looking for me for 12 years. I was on the run. I was almost killed 3 times. That I'm here now is, you know, I can hardly believe it myself. But I'm here, and also, you know, what I've experienced, the good parts of it, the really good parts, you know, I'm open to sharing with anyone who's ready, willing, and able to hear a little about this science and the possibility of being benefited even more than what you can imagine, or maybe what you can comprehend, because after 10 years of teaching yoga, I thought I knew something. But I saw in all my different yoga teachers and all these masters that there was a little something, you know, not yet. So this is the greatest blessing, and even though, you know, I like to feed the body, the underlying mission of divine organics and transition nutrition is also to feed the soul. And with this highest food in the form of holy light and sound that's within all of us. And this is the child of God within us all, in this energetic body of light and sound. So this is really what turns me on, and this has been my practice for 26 years now, after trying to meditate for 10 years. This help from above is, I'll tell you, I've never experienced anything
It's
like
living proof.
It's living proof
that he
that I
can
can
live
live
with
with
me.
that. But, you know, what blew my mind about this true one was overnight, you know, I realized I had come in contact with the most humble, simple, loving being or power in this universe. And that's what helped me really to get through. I mean, I was in jail back between 2000 and 2003 with thousands of very tough, hardened criminals. And I probably lived in 50 different cells with a few people that were almost ready to kill me. And no one ever touched me. They tried a couple times, but I was protected, and it was only, you know, that power that got me through, you know, 3 years of being in county jails, which is the toughest. But it enabled me to meditate many, many hours a day and keep my sanity and come out healthy. Anyway, I thank you all for showing up and for sharing, and if there's anyone else who would like to share a little of, you know, what they may want to, I'm going to shut my mouth and
So much for the small talk. No, thank you for sharing, David.
Thank you.
David's a very special man. I suggest getting to know him. Plus his great superfoods. So yeah, we're not doing short story time tonight. Anybody else our lives are on here? This is my healing work. I just sit down and hang out.
We all know each other better now.
Yeah, I know. No, it really does make the evening very special and unique. Well, we are available for any questions. If anybody has any questions about what we're doing, our vision, how we're working together, what that looks like, how you could be involved, we're here. We also would really, really love if you take the time in the back of your packet that you fill out the questionnaire and leave it for us. And we have a little packet of pens. If Rose, you could pass out some pens for people and take a few moments to do that. I'd still love to invite you to just hang out, stay, and I'll put on the hot tub. You can jump in the pool because I don't want Naki to be disappointed. You can ask me a question. Hi, I'm Jen Healy.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I was just wondering, my writing partner and I just finished a book, and I was wondering if I could very quickly share a chapter, if that's something that...
There are very few words.
A whole chapter?
2-3 sentences.
Yeah, that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Might as well.
Go for it.
Okay.
And you have to pick the page.
Okay. Cool. Can we do this while they're filling out the questionnaire? Is that okay?
Sure.
It will literally take 20 seconds.
Yeah, come up here. Come on up. So you're Sophia?
Hi, I'm Sophia.
Sophia, Jen Healy.
Great to meet you.
Thanks.
So this is, you may pick any chapter you like, but no peeking.
No peeking. Well, I have
Just
to
do a
open it.
random pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I plan on doing. Okay, cool. There we go. Mine, me.
Oh, would you like me?
No, would you?
Oh.
Why don't we read it together? Okay.
Okay. I'm all about myself, and I like it that way. I make it work for me, and I'm okay with the results. It might be painful to see, but only to other folks. I feel safer this way, and experience fewer jolts, living behind my eyelids, where there are no revolts. No one is an island unto themselves.
Thank you for sharing. Beautiful.
Nice.
Yay. Appreciate you coming by and sharing. Yeah, we'll drop in and get to know each other for the next hour or so stick around for sure. Learn more about your book. So yeah, there's a questionnaire. I'll just kind of jump right back in. This will help us know a little bit more about you and what's interesting to you and what parts of the center you'd possibly like to get involved in, or if there's other people that you'd like to share the vision with and you want us to come and do some sort of talk or presentation at a center that you're actively participating in now. It's just really helpful for us if you would take the time to leave this behind and then take the packet with you. I also can send you an electronic version if that's easier for your life and your eyes. Just let me know. We do have a sign-in sheet. If everybody puts their name and email on there, that's also really helpful for us to synergize and stay in contact. So I completely welcome you guys to make yourselves comfortable. Like I said, I'll turn on the hot tub. You can jump in the pool. We can hang out and have more food, more yums. I just like to give David an opportunity to also come to completion and say anything else before they fill out the questionnaire that you would like to share, my dear.
Well, I've done a lot of meetings over the years. I've never been to a meeting like this before. It's really fun.
Yeah.
So, so thanks for the experience. I think, there's a lot more to share, and let yourself ask questions either like this or one-on-one, email us. We have contact information for you, for Jen and myself, and the team. So, I guess what I would say at the end of all
Rose, we're
this-
gonna give you, like, within 5 minutes, you guys can totally socialize, please just give us your attention.
What I would, what I would invite you to do is enjoy this is very enjoyable, and then ask yourself, what do you want to do about it? That's, we're doers, we're builders. Ron and I, and maybe a few other of you have background in building houses, and so we're building community, we're building a project here. So ask yourself how you'd like to see that happen, and let us know. We'll have some time. So thank you very much for inviting me to be here. And I'm not sure where Shiloh is, but if she's still in the room, thanks. Oh, there you are. Thanks for being here too. Get to know her. She's amazing. She's quiet tonight, but don't let her off the hook. All right, thanks.
What would you like to share, Teresa?
Just a quick question. Are we invited to take a few of these with us to share with a few people that might
Well, we
resonate?
do have a couple extra, so you're welcome to, and I can also send it to you electronically.
Great.
So either way,
Okay.
you know? So I think we have like 4 or 5 extra, so there's no reason really for them to sit here, so feel free to take one, but I can also, electronically would be a little bit better, but either way.
No, either way.
Thanks.
I have a quick question. Are you going to be doing like follow-up emails and follow-up events so that we can go a little deeper into?
I would really like
going on?
that. Thank you for asking. So our next conscious community gathering is June 11th, which I mentioned.
What
and
day is
that'll-
that?
June 11th is a Tuesday. So it's usually like the second Tuesday of every month. It's from 7 to 10 p.m. You can come early and play on the Quantum Playground and kind of hang out from 6 to 7. But June 11th is going to be our next follow-up meeting, so we can actually circle up, which is my preferred moda operandi, and to really just drop in, and that will be more the sharing visions, ideas, insights, inspirations, really kind of getting into it a little bit more. That's what I say. It could be anything. Like tonight, we're just like surrendering it up to the universe, and whatever shows up, we respond to. But yeah, I would love to stay in contact. If it's okay for us to email you about this, just put like a check mark or a little yes next to your name. Of course, you don't have to sign up on the newsletter. We would really love to continue to expand and share our ideas and visions. It helps us quite a bit to feel this level of support and connection from you guys. Really, it means the world to me that you spent your Saturday night with us. Thank you so much. Gary, do you have anything to say back there? How's it going?
It's going all right.
All right. Yay. So I'm going to just turn the hot tub on and
Thank you.
get everything ready for us to play. So honored.
The hot tub heats up quick too.
Really
It's like
quick.
a super tub, and it lasts. Pool party got too hot.